This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, how are you on this lovely Thursday morning? Yes, it is Thursday, May the 27th of 2021, day 147th of the year. Only 218 days left to go. We are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, coming across the multiverse of Safety FM, and of course, hanging out with our friends, partners, colleagues, whatever the hell you want to call them, over there.
You're in the big mix.
So there you go. We're hanging out with our friends at Radio Big.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. Hopefully you had a lovely evening as we tie into the morning, or depending on where you're located, maybe you had a lovely day so far, depending on how those things are coming about and all that kind of fun stuff. So there's the good part about the whole thing. So let's get it started. So let's start talking about the trending and all that kind of fun stuff, because that's what we do here. So if you're not familiar with the show, let me kind of give you the layout of the land. It kind of goes something similar to this. We talk about the news. We have some professional broadcasters come in. They do their gig. They talk, they move, they groove, and all that kind of fun stuff, talking about what's going on inside of the world of the news. I come in, give you my nonsense of what I'm thinking about inside of the world of news. We talk about the world of safety, tie in, tie out, blend it into the news stories. And then, of course, you jump in, jump out, and then we have that whole conversation of what we can do going forward. So there you go. A lot of stuff will need to take place as we do this, because that's the way that it goes. So anyway, let's talk about what is trending. A video of a male panda choosing to munch on some bamboo and ignore the frisky mate advance has gone viral. The clip, which was filmed last month at the Copenhagen Zoo, was captioned, "How is this panda's attempt at natural mating progressing on day 2, you ask?" Social media has had a field day with the interactions with users commenting, "It is no wonder they are going extinct." So there you go. If you're interested in finding out, you can definitely find that one online, as it is going around and about and all that other kind of fun stuff. So let's get you to some feature story news. Get those people inside of here and let them groove and move and talk about what the hell they have going on inside of the world. So here we go.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Feature story news in London. I'm Ollie Barrett. US President Joe Biden has instructed American intelligence agencies to investigate the origins of COVID-19. He's given them 90 days to report back, as Jagruti Dave reports from Washington.
In an unusual move, Joe Biden revealed that US intelligence agencies are examining 2 alternative theories about the origins of the pandemic. The move also gives more weight to the theory that the virus emerged as a result of a potential laboratory accident in China, rather than the virus jumping from animals to humans. In March, a team of scientists from China and the World Health Organization wrote a report saying it was extremely unlikely the virus had originated in the lab in Wuhan. In his statement, the president said he had asked the intelligence community to redouble their efforts to get close to a definitive conclusion.
The UK government's rejecting a series of explosive claims made by a former advisor about the handling of the COVID-19 outbreak. Former Downing Street aide Dominic Cummings said tens of thousands of people needlessly died because of the government's actions. And he insisted the Prime Minister and Health Secretary are unfit for their jobs. Cabinet Minister Robert Jenrick.
What we're focused on now is moving forward. We're still responding to the pandemic. We're still vaccinating people. We're still dealing with and learning about new variants. There will come a time in the public inquiry the Prime Minister has organised next year when these questions can rightly be heard in a calm and reflective manner with the evidence laid out. I think that's the right way to handle this. Were there things we could have done differently or better? I'm sure that there were, but much of that is now with the benefit of hindsight.
The Australian state of Victoria is heading into a new COVID-19 lockdown. 26 cases have been identified in Melbourne, along with 150 sites where people may have had exposure to coronavirus. Cyclone Yas has slammed into India's eastern coast, inundating several low-lying areas and leaving tens of thousands of people homeless. Yas made landfall on the east coast less than a fortnight after Cyclone Tauktae barreled into India's west coast, claiming over 100 lives. Sriyoshi Mukherjee reports.
Both cyclones come at a time when India is battling a devastating second wave of COVID-19 infections. More than 1 million people were evacuated from low-lying areas of India's eastern coast ahead of the cyclone's landfall. India's Met Department says Cyclone Yas has weakened into a deep depression as it moved northwestwards. But India's eastern states continue to remain on high alert. Cyclone Yas battered Odisha and West Bengal, leaving a trail of destruction. More than 4,000 disaster relief workers have been positioned in the two states. India's defense forces have also been deployed to help with the rescue and relief work.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, some reaction to Wednesday's bombshell claims by Dominic Cummings, the former top advisor to Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who says the British leader let the country down in the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic. It comes from Sophia Nar of Families for COVID Justice, a group of nearly 4,000 families demanding an investigation into whether so many lives needed to be lost in the UK. Her father, a doctor himself, died of COVID-19 in February, and she says Mr. Cummings' testimony provided fresh insight into early mistakes that could have saved lives.
People are ultimately, by and large, they're good people and they'll do the most they can to save lives. What we really needed at that time was leadership, and I think it's becoming clear, especially from what Cummings has been saying today, we had no leadership and the people in the government had no leadership. Boris wanted to be the person that kind of opened things up and made people happy. We deserve answers, and it's unfortunate that it's coming out in this way, in this kind of spectacle, but at least we are hearing about it. We're now left with tens of thousands of people that have died, and that is a legacy that he'll have to live with, and he has a lot of things to answer for.
Families for COVID Justice is seeking an immediate public inquiry into the government's handling of the pandemic, and it's created a national COVID memorial wall opposite Parliament on the banks of the River Thames. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, US President Joe Biden's instructed American intelligence agencies to investigate the origins of COVID-19. The UK government's rejecting a series of explosive claims made by a former advisor about the handling of the outbreak. The Australian state of Victoria is heading into a new coronavirus lockdown, and Cyclone Yas has slammed into India's eastern coast, inundating several low-lying areas and leaving tens of thousands homeless. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Support for Safety FM is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and the detail on the 4.0 are next level. You know, more times of actually handling blades and becoming a bloody mess, if you know what I'm saying there. Manscaped engineered the ultimate growing and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredible, comfortable grooming experience. The 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. This upgraded trimmer includes a multifunction on-off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for some precise shave. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim throughout additional guards, lengths with sizes 1 through 4. Did I mention that it's wireless charging? Yeah, not a joke here. The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SAFETY at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code SAFETY. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so there you go. 13 minutes past the top of the hour. A lot of stuff going on as we are speaking this morning inside of the world of the news and so on. So you might have heard the news yesterday. Amazon will buy MGM in a deal that has the e-commerce company purchasing the entertainment giant, the Juggernaut, for about $8.4 billion with a B. Through this acquisition, Amazon will empower MGM to continue to do what they do best. Great storytelling. This was according to the release. MGM owns multiple mega money shows and franchises, including James Bond and reality mainstays like Shark Tank and Real Housewives. Worth asking, how will Shark Tank billionaire Mark Cuban feel about working for turbo billionaire Jeff Bezos? No word yet on what the deal on when the deal will close, but expect heightened scrutiny over regulatory actions about Amazon's monopoly status on multiple markets. So I'm sure that will come about as we are talking about it. So there you go. There's some information there. A Black Hawk helicopter crashed into Florida Marsh on Tuesday afternoon, killing at least 1 of 4 on board. Rescue officials reported yesterday that they recovered 1 body and are continuing to search for other 3 occupants. One rescuer said the crash appears to be a total loss. An unexpected mechanical failure is believed to be the cause. So as we talk about it all the time, you have to attempt to prepare for everything, but when do you know it's going to happen? You don't. You don't know it. These things just kind of happen in and about and all that other stuff.
Duh.
So there you go. Sorry about the loss of life for sure there, but something worth talking about because these things are bound to happen. I mean, I think that the FAA has some of the biggest scrutiny in regards to some of the stuff that happens. I mean, let's talk about it in that fashion. Anyway, let's continue talking. The CDC reported this week there has been over 10,000 COVID-19 breakthrough infections among 101 million Americans who were considered fully vaccinated by late April. Early data shows that over a quarter of cases were asthmatic. 10% required hospitalization. 160 died from the virus. Also, nearly 70% of the breakthrough cases occurred in women. Worth noting, as of May the 1st, the CDC only counts cases that require hospitalizations or deaths, so the number of breakthrough cases is likely much higher. So stuff to think about as we are talking about that real quick. What is going on in your neck of the woods? I mean, let's talk about that for a section, because that's the other thing. A lot of stuff does happen, but a lot of stuff is not reported, as you can tell there based on that information. So what are you looking at as we are talking about it? Good morning, Bozel. Are you saying good morning because you were affected? I'm just kind of curious because I would like to know that. That's for sure. So, yes, I mean, that's a lot of stuff there. I mean, a lot of stuff going on. But what's going on in your neck of the woods? Because that's the thing. We keep on seeing the cases and hearing about them and then the vaccination, so it becomes a lot of interesting stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just one hot minute, but let's go through this real quick. COVID can't keep people from climbing Mount Everest despite reports of the outbreak, according to Lucas Futtenbach from the Austrian Futtenbach Adventures Company. There has been a surge of COVID-19 cases in the base camp of the world's tallest peak. Mira Araya, a director of the Department of Tourism that oversees the climbing of Nepal Mountain, said that the government has not been notified of any such outbreaks. As of last week, 184 climbers and their guides reached the peak, with more expecting to go up this week, according to what Myra had to say. The climbing season ends next week, so there you go. Why does it end? Why does the season end? Does the weather get that bad? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. As of Wednesday, over 289.2 million COVID vaccines have been administered nationwide. Over 131.8 million Americans have been fully vaccinated, while more than 165 million have received at least one dose, according to the CDC. So there you go, some information to think about as we are talking here. Let me bring my friend, my colleague, and my buddy in and let him talk a little bit about what is going on according to the stock market. Let's take a listen to what John Smalls has to say.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Thursday, May 27th, 2021. The market tried to rebound Wednesday, but the gains were slim. A number of FOMC members spoke out to try to soothe the market's fears of rising inflation, but to little avail. The market has its eyes set on Friday's core consumer inflation data and is getting ready to be surprised. The consensus estimate of 0.6% is low in light of May CPI data, which showed consumer inflation rising 1% for the month. If the data comes in hot, it could send the market into another tailspin. And this time, the bottom may not be reached quite so soon. Among Wednesday's biggest movers were the reopening stocks. Cruise lines, airlines, and hospitality stocks were all up more than 2% intraday, with many up more than 2.5% at the height of the session. With the economic reopening underway and gaining momentum globally, these stocks can be expected to outperform the rest of the market over the summer. The question now is, how good will the results be when the Q2 earnings season rolls around? You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Johnny Smalls, the actual host of the John and Heidi Show, or one of the hosts of the John and Heidi Show that occurs in the afternoon on RadioBig.fm. So let's talk about that. Stocks moved slightly higher on Wednesday as the Dow added about 10 points, the NASDAQ gained about 80 points, and the S&P rose about 7 points. Investors seem to trade through the session based on on earnings and less about inflation concerns. Ford, the car maker, nearly 9% after announcing plans to have a 40% of its unit sale made up by electric vehicles by the year 2030. We're really not that far away if you really start thinking about it in the grand scheme of things. So there you go. Are you playing the stock market, or what exactly are you doing? I always kind of intrigued by seeing what's going on.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, 20 minutes past the top of the hour. The body of a missing man was found inside of a dinosaur statue located in suburb of Barcelona, Spain. The BBC News reports that a father and son reported to smell something coming from the papier-mâché Stragogus figure. Upon further inspection, the father saw a body through the crack of the dinosaur's hollow leg and called the police. The body has been identified as 39-year-old man who was reported missing by his family. It is unclear how the man got inside of the statue. Authorities are waiting for an autopsy to see what the results of the cause of death were. So there you go, some things to think about as we are talking here. Christina Bahan Rivera, the man who was on trial in 2018 for Molly Tibbetts, gave a shocking testimony in Iowa courtroom on Wednesday. He told the jurors that two armed men wearing masks forced him to drive up to the college student at the night that she went missing. He said that one man got in behind him and the other was next to him. He testified that he followed their orders to drive and then stopped near a jogger whom was recognized as Tibbetts. Baron Rivera explains that he obeyed the men because they told him that they knew Iris Gamboa, the mother of his daughter. And if he said something, that they would take care of them. He is facing one count of first-degree murder in the stabbing of the death of Tibbetts. So there you go. Some information there coming out of the blue. That's for sure, as we are talking here for sure. A Tasmanian devil are making a comeback in Australia for the first time in 3 millennia. 7 joeys were found in the pouch of one Tasmanian devil mother at the 988-acre Barrington Wildlife Sanctuary in New South Wales. After years of breeding the animals in that captivity, Aussie Ark, an animal conservation nonprofit, reintroduced a total of 26 devils to the sanctuary over the past few years. The hope was that they would reproduce, eventually recover the number naturally. Environmentalists hope the devils return to the mainland and will help rebalance the booming population. How come I think automatically of the Tasmanian devil when they say that? And I'm talking about the cartoon. And if you're not familiar with the cartoon, I apologize. That just means you're much younger than I am, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. Think about it in that fashion. That is for sure.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, 8 people are dead after a gunman opened fire at a rail yard in San Jose on Wednesday morning. The gunman, identified as Samuel Cassidy, was a former employee of the Valley Transportation Authority where the incident took place. He took his own life following his shooting spree. No motive is known at the time. So isn't this interesting? And I probably am using a poor choice of words as I am saying this, but isn't it interesting taking a look around that now that things are starting to open up, and this is kind of, I shouldn't say expected, but kind of the way that things go, that we're starting to see a lot more violent issues take place now. We're starting to see, this is what, 3rd or 4th that I think we've reported on this show, of somebody inside of a work environment taking people out since we started to see a lot more things reopen. And I'm not saying we should remain locked down. I'm just pointing out the obvious because that's what I do around here. So some things to think about for sure. So what are you thinking here? What are you thinking when it comes to this? And how do you look at this inside of your work organization? I'm asking the question because I have to have a better understanding. I just really do. Because here's the thing. I know we can prepare for a lot of things when it comes to our work environments, but when it comes to shootings and all this aspect, I know we can talk about run, hide, fight, because that's something that's very popular and we do talk about. But how do you prepare? How do you prepare? And I know we can go through this over and over again, the matrix, the hazards, the potential, blah, 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 blah. But they are saying that this was somebody who worked at Valley Transportation Authority. And this happened in San Jose. San Jose. So, I mean, what do you look at here? There's a lot of stuff to think about. So how do you look at the whole ordeal? So how do you plan? How do you move forward? How do you inform your workers on what to expect? I mean, it's kind of a weird thing. It's a very hard conversation to have, that's for sure.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk and let's go through our main story and talk about this. I know that we've been talking about the magic sauce is what the title, I believe, was for this particular episode. But let's talk about this for one brief moment, because I think that this is kind of important. You know how we go through our careers and we start talking about we have to get to X area to be able to have a better understanding of the things that are going on. We have to practice all of these things throughout the years to make sure that we have a good knowledge base and we have this great aspect of everything that could be expected going forward as we move on inside of this work that we do. Some of us taking a listen to this show or a view of this show know that we are professionals in the world of safety. But we know that we have to get this certification, we have to get that certification, and we have to get this degree and this knowledge base and this understanding and sit under the learning tree of this gal and this guy and this binary. And we go through all these different portions of life to make sure that we have this great qualifications that pads our resume. Maybe padding the resume should not be the wording, but makes our resume look so fantastic of everything that we have done, everything that we have accomplished through our career, and everything that I have learned because of this years of dedication of the world of safety, of the things that we've done. I mean, and you can kind of really count this into anything. I mean, some people will go out there and get a bachelor's degree. Some people will go out there and get a master's degree. Some people will go out there and get an ed doc or whatever the hell that's called, an ed phys or whatever it is. And then some people will go out there and get a PhD and all this other fun stuff and double PhDs. I know a guy that's a triple PhD, which let's not even talk about that. But there's this commitment of time that you have to learn all of this stuff and have all of these papers and all of these letters that are associated to your name and these tie-ins and all this other fun stuff. And I guess to an extent, I would be kind of hypocritical if I would say I don't agree with that. Because when I go as far in saying, hey, I went and made sure that I had X qualifications, kind of makes me an asshole to turn around and say it's not important. It's important if you put an importance to it. I always think that book knowledge is good. I also think that practical knowledge is better. But I look at this whole thing that we get so hung up on this certificate, this degree, this knowledge from a person, and we forget about what the true magic sauce is. The magic sauce of the whole thing is this thing that we constantly reach for, that we're always going out there and attempting to get. And we struggle after it and go after it. And some people even look at this as like at the end of time, this will be the most important thing because this magic sauce, this silver bullet, whatever the hell you want to call it, is so important that once I have this, I will have made it. And it's interesting as I look at that. And it's interesting as I hear people talk about this all the time. I get some of the I have to tell you, over the last 4 weeks, I have probably been involved with some of the most interesting conversations that I've had the whole time I've been on the planet. And that's not a joke. Because of expectations of people that they have to get to X. And that's when they know the magic sauce will be there. They've done all the research. They've gotten all the certifications. They've gotten all of the things that they deemed important to make it to the magic sauce. I got news for you. Here's the thing. When you get the magic sauce or the scroll or whatever the hell you want to call it, the magic bullet, and you finally have it in hand, I can share with you right now what the magic sauce is. It might excite you. It might disappoint you. It might make you feel in a totally different way. The magic sauce to the whole thing, to get it to work, is you. Yeah, it's you. These other things will help you gain knowledge. You memorize some stuff to be able to pass a test. You took a deep dive into a dissertation. You took a deep dive into a theory. You took a deep dive into these other things. You sat under a learning tree. But the thing that's going to make the magic sauce work is you. It's how you gel it all together. There is no super power. Listen, I'm going to explain this to you the best that I can. You will be able to reach people that I will never be able to reach because they like the way that you interact with them. The same applies to different people. It's how you convey a message. It's kind of interesting on how I can sit here and talk about human and organizational performance using that as an example. And you listen to me and it sounds like it from one point of view. I can bring in a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, and they can give you their perspective. And it sounds different than what I had to say. There might be some similarities, but there's a lot of differences there. And the magic portion there is that the magic sauce is them. So I need you. Yes, and it's a need. I need you to understand that. The knowledge in going out there and acquiring all this information is important. I can't say otherwise because I'd be a hypocrite. But you have to truly understand, for it all to work, it's because of you. Think about it. There's so many talking heads out there that you look at and you go, well, I understand this and it sounds good coming out of them on how they're saying it, but how do I apply it? So you'll take that and you'll adapt it to what you think is best for you and how you could apply it moving forward. Nobody told you that. But you're taking these theories and these concepts and these learnings that you have, and you're adapting them. The portion in life sometimes that takes the longest is realizing that the magic sauce is you. And if we could step back for a moment and put the focus on that, and, we can go through the whole thing that, I'm not worthy and all this other stuff. It's not a worthiness thing. It's an understanding thing. People go through life for such a long period of time trying to take such deep dives into getting everything, every certificate that they can. And the knowledge is good, but the certificate doesn't make the magic sauce. The degree doesn't make the magic sauce. It expands the knowledge. But you still have to bring it all together. Let's be realistic. If you go back to high school, junior high, elementary school, did you really learn all of the stuff that you were taught back then? Or did you memorize to pass a test? Did that apply when you did undergrad? Grad school? I'm just asking. Just want you to think about it. But then again, I might be sitting back and thinking of a theory of magic sauce that only applies to some and not to all. But then again, what do I know? Just a guy behind a microphone.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and Shelter Pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit tunein2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
So for years, I have been telling you how I sleep so miserably at night, but that has all changed as of recent, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you about my friends at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep has a sleep quiz that takes just about 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why should you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you will know will be perfect for the way you sleep. Everybody is unique, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have a soft, medium, and firm mattress. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot. And even at Helix Plus mattresses for plus-size sleepers. I took the Helix quiz, and I was matched with the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress because I wanted something that felt soft, and I sleep on my side. It was such a different approach and exactly on how I was able to sleep. I love it. It's a huge upgrade from what I had before, that's for sure. The kids love it, even though they shouldn't be jumping on my bed, but that's a whole other story. And my wife loves it, which is important. So if you're looking for a mattress, you just take the quiz. You order the mattress, and you're matched to it. And the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't even need to go to the mattress store again. Helix is awesome, but you don't need my word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Just go to helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety. There, take the 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you up with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try the mattress for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up if you don't love it, but you will. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/safety. That's helixsleep.com/safety for up to $200 off and 2 free pillows. Don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you. Okay, here we go. A little colors here. This is by Tori Wolf. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. It is currently 39 minutes past the top of the hour. don't know. They sound like somebody else. It's just not clicking in my brain at the moment. Okay, let's bring that down. Let's get you back into some more news here about what's going on, because that's going to be important right now. So let's start talking about calling all prospective workers. Oh, yes. Let's take a listen to this one. One McDonald's restaurant is attempting to deal with a labor shortage in a creative way by offering free iPhones to new employees. Twitter users Brigard posted a photo of McDonald's with comment LMFAO, McDonald's is starving. The photo shows a restaurant with a flyer in the window stating that it is offering a free iPhone to new employees who meet employment criteria and are employed there for 6 months. The post has been liked over 225,000 times and retweeted over 35,000 times. The flyer also now does not state what model iPhone or condition a new employee would receive in both the criteria, or both met the criteria. No word either on where the McDonald's is located. There is a links available at tinyurl.com, and that would be /B939A6TT. That's tinyurl.com /B939A6TT. So there you go, if you're trying to get a free iPhone. Good plan. That way new employees can tax in sick after 6 months. I guess that's one way to look at it. And then did they mention if the person gets paid? Because that would probably be another portion, too, that's kind of important. I mean, I know the iPhones are expensive, but, man, that's putting it to another level.
More sarcasm than Mortal Kombat Beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Let's talk about story-welling. Yeah, I did say this. Listening to stories reduces pain in children, according to a new study. Many children in hospitals already have storytelling programs that aim to cheer up patients. Not patients. But this research published in the Journal of Proceeding of the National Academy of Sciences suggests that it also has a psychological benefit. Brazilian researchers Jorge Moll says that until now, the positive evidence for storytelling was based on common sense, and that thinking being that interacting with the child may distract, entertain, and alleviate suffering. But his team determined through a series of sessions with children aged 2 to 7 intensive care that those who took part of storytelling group experienced decrease in pain levels and stress hormones at twice the rate in control of the group that were told the riddles instead. The team plans to conduct the same experiment among other patient groups. Also effective would be cookies. Something to think about. Maybe they told a control group stupid jokes. I don't know. I don't know if to refute the value of the research, but isn't it ironic that the kids sometimes tell the longest, most painful stories that you'll ever hear? Yeah, something to think about, and that's no joke.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
So let's talk about Wag the Dude. Yeah, not a joke here. Wag the Dude, a company is selling tails for people because, well, people will buy them. That's the case. In case that you didn't know, there is a market for naturally moving tails for humans. The tail company has been in business in creating realistic human tails for over 15 years, and the latest creation of the Me Tail launched on Kickstarter 2 weeks ago, and it was funded in about 2 hours. The Me Tail is an animatronic tail for humans that they can all move by itself via smartphone commands. The app allows I don't even know where the hell this is going. The app allows users to select a variety of options, but because of controlling the tail with manual commands can be tedious, the Me Tail no phone mode will give you a life of its own, moving itself at different speeds with random motions, emulating a real tail. The line of lifelike tails is expected to begin shipping this August. The retail at $150 and up. You know what they say, behind every great man is a tail. I don't know. That explains a lot about my last blind date. We'll just leave it at that. And how can we not go with the slogan, get yourself some tail? I mean, that would be definitely the way to take a listen to it.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about Mythbuster Sunscreen Edition. Let's not joke about this. So you know that we have a lot of people that work outside that take a listen to this thing because of the kind of work that we do. So let's go through a long list of stuff here. So we'll take the long path on this one. Today is Sunscreen Protection Day, just in case you didn't know it. The statement below, contrary to what you have probably been told, there are all myths. Dark skin doesn't need sunscreen because they can get melanoma. Darkened skin tones are less prone to skin cancer, but this means that the signs are ignored until the lesions so far are advanced that the chances of successfully treatment are diminished. That's one. Based on tan protest. Excuse me. A base tan protects. A base tan nature way of producing sun protection because you've been irritated, have some level of irritation, but it doesn't lessen the risk of skin cancer. But your age of your skin faster with the constant tanning. Have you heard about these myths? Because this is something. You don't need sunscreen inside. All contact with sunlight requires protection, even exposure through the office and car windows and walking from building to building. So there's something to think about. This almost sounds like it's coming through a sunscreen protection program. Here you go. Let's talk a little bit more. The number of sunscreen in prominent to the number of minutes of sunscreen protection. Nope, that's not true. It's about the strength of the protection against the sun's harmful rays. Sunscreen protection, SPF, is a measure to show the energy of the UV radiation is required to burn protection of your skin. Here's how you can do the math. SPF allows 1/15 of harmful UV rays to reach your skin. The remaining 14/15 means that your protection against 93% of UVB radiation. So SPF 30 blocks about 90% or 97%, and SPF 50 prevents about 98%. Okay, you got me there. I thought that one was true, but it's quite not. The SPF makeup is not enough and good enough to cover when you are walking from your car to work. If you're outside for longer than 15 minutes, you need a higher SPF and you must reapply. So there are some other things to think about real quick. One application of sunscreen in the morning is enough for the whole day. Reapplying is just as important as the first coat. Sunscreen gets consumed once the light hits it, and it means that you have to reapply regularly to remain protected. You don't need sunscreen during off-peak hours. The sun rays can cause damage no matter what time it is. If you're outside at any point longer than 15 minutes, you need an SPF. You can still get burnt at 8 a.m. as well as you can at 4 p.m. So they count. So why can't I seem to get a tan at all? I mean, that's a whole other story. Sunscreen on your face, arms, back, and legs is enough. That's a great start, but you would also need to apply it to your ears, nose, hands, tops of your feet. Yeah, that's not a joke. I don't even want to show you what my feet look like with the tan that I got going on there. And remember your scalp, for bald guys like me, especially if you have thinner or less hair. Hey, stop picking. That's why my fishing hat is for. So there you go. And melanoma is only caused by sun exposure. Melanoma can strike without sun exposure, which makes regular skin checks important. Sun exposure does not make it a higher risk. So see you at the beach this summer if we recognize each other with the sunscreen and extra protection and clothing on. Oh, yeah, well, and our masks. So a lot of stuff to think about as we do talk about it.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, sunscreen's important. We have to cover this stuff. Anyways, 48 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out, talking. What? William Shakespeare has died. What? The first man in the UK and the world to receive his COVID-19 has passed away from an unrelated illness. He died at the same hospital in Coventry where he received the vaccine, according to the Birmingham Live. Wow, that was a little confusing when I took a look at that real quick. So there you go. Some other stuff going on inside of the world as we are going on real quick. So no winner for Tuesday night Mega Million Friday's drawing will be for $22 million jackpot or a $15 million cash payout. Let me not get too far here because yesterday I forgot to do this, and I don't want to forget to do it today. So let's get Johnny Smalls in here once again and have him talk about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Tim. Herman Melville said, "It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation." Thanks, Tim. I've never heard this quote before, but I absolutely love it. Herman Melville, by the way, is best known for a little book called Moby Dick. It did pretty well. I think you might know a little something about this topic. Be original and be yourself. I agree, it's far better to be happy doing your own thing than following the crowd and being miserable. Too many people do that, though. They play it safe, and they do what they know will be popular with the crowd, even if it's not what they really want to do. Be happy. Be original. Be yourself. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
I have to tell you, I love me some Johnny Smalls when he comes about and starts talking about dropping some knowledge bombs in regards to what exactly is going on. So good to hear what he has to say for sure.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Okay, don't know if you heard this. Joe West set a record while umpiring the White Sox and St. Louis Cardinals on Tuesday night. The 68-year-old who has been with the league since 1976 was behind the plate for his 5,376 regular season game, trying Hall of Famer Bill Clem. Let's see. The White Sox recognized the milestone on their scoreboard with a video of West's former and current colleagues offering their congratulations. West said that he will decide at the end of the season whether or not he is ready to retire. So there you go. Some things to think about as we are talking about this, of course. Let's talk about some things that occurred back on this date. Let's go back into let's see. Let's go to 2018. Let's go to 2018. South Korean boy band BTS is the first K-pop group on the U.S. Billboard 200 with their album Love Yourself. Tear. So there you go. That happened back in 2018. Back in 2020, sounds like a lifetime ago at this point. The COVID-19 death toll is in the U.S. surpasses 100,000. The number is equal to the number of U.S. servicemen and women killed in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, all put together. So some stuff to think about as you look at that particular number, and we are talking about it. Anyways, it is 52 minutes past the top of the hour. Let me tell you about some birthdays real quick that are going on right now. Natalie Neidhart turns 39, Ben Feldman 41, Jamie Oliver 46, Andre 3000 46, Jack Bracker 48, Paul Bettany turns 50, Adam Carolla 57, Louis Gossett Jr. turns 85, and Henry Kissinger turns 98. Whoa. Extended time there for sure. Let's talk about some days of the year to celebrate today. National Cellophane Tape Day, National Grape Popsicle Day, and then, of course, last but not least, Sunscreen Day. So there you go. If you're looking for some things to celebrate, you can go out there and do that. Sometimes it is important, and sometimes you are born for these things.
Some say I'm a street fighter, a renegade, a courtroom brawler. I'm a trial lawyer, and I have a mission: to right wrongs, to level the playing field, to protect victims by doing what I do best: win in court. That's the DNA of Figer Law. Figer Law. I was born for this.
Yeah, Figer Law, 1-800-A-WINNER. That's 1-800-A-WINNER. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important part that I'll tell you the whole day. So let's go through this real quick. Let me tell you about my friends at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. That's the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Know that you are not alone. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. go to afsp.org. That's afsp.org for more information, or call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-TALK, or text the word TALK to 741-741. Yes, data rates may apply to this and messaging services as well, just in case, just so you know the info. But seriously, before you do anything, before you make your next decision, if you're struggling with either or, make sure that you contact them. It's going to be so important. Not a joke there as we are talking. Anyways, let's continue to get you out of here real quick. Let's talk about some scoops of BS real quick, if we can do so. A recent Wheel of Fortune contestant became the first in the show history to win a house. If you like to hear about the stunning historic achievement, block off 6 hours and call up my grandmother. I'm sure she'll tell you all about it. An 84-year-old woman just graduated from Georgetown College, which means in order to pay off her student loans, she'll have to live to 134. An ice cream truck driver was attacked and assaulted at National City, California gas station over the weekend. The attacker was arrested while the ice cream truck vendor was left licking his wounds. The body of a man was discovered dead inside of a dinosaur statue. We talked about that earlier. They had to cut him out with a dino saw. SAT scores in the U.S. Use their lowest level or are at their lowest level in 40 years. Wow, that's like 8 decades low, said a student. So there you go. Some stuff to think about for sure. It is 56 minutes past the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, I will be moving over exclusively to RadioBig.fm. If you want to come and hang out, we'll play some music, do some things if you're interested in doing so. All you have to do is go to RadioBig.fm to get onto the station. Anyways, let me give you a phone starter for today if you're so inclined to know about them. Here you go. If you could spend a day in someone else's shoes, whose shoes would they be and why? If you need a random joke for today, try this one. Why are the elderly often called old people, but children are never called new people? Good question. If you need something for the water cooler, try this one. It's frowned upon, but nearly 80% of people admit that they do this at work. What is it? Use emojis. So there you go. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show exclusively on RadioBig.fm and on SafetyFM.com, or the different apps that we have. So there you go. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM. And that is the listener. Without you, we couldn't do what we do. Thank you for always making Safety FM the home of real safety talk. That's why you come out here and hang out with us. Anyways, if I can leave you with a thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Who is the happier man? He who has braved the storm of life and lived, or he who has stayed securely on shore and merely existed? Think about that. And when I say he, I mean she, and I mean her, and I mean them, and I mean they, just in case. It's an old proverb. Had to use it in the fashion that it came about. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you. Mean it. And goodbye. I'll see you in a little bit if you come over and translate over to RadioBig.fm with me.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.